Welcome back. In this video, we'll look at a few puzzles to help us understand lists even further. Let's create a simple list. This time, we'll create a list of strings. The thing is, you can create a list of strings as easily as you can create a list of numbers. It's cat, let's say dog, elephant. It's simple, right? So, how do you find out how many animals are there? Length of animals, right? That's simple. That's what we have done earlier. What would sum of animals give? What do you think it will give? Error, obviously, because plus is something which is not defined on a string. Similar to the list with numbers, you can add values, remove values, and all that kind of stuff. The functions remain exactly the same. So you can do animals dot append fish. What would happen? Animals would have the new value fish. Or you can do animals dot remove dog. What would happen? Dog is gone. One of the things you can do in Python is something of this kind. So if I do animals of 2, what do you think will happen? What would be printed? 0, 1, and 2. So you can almost use array indexes kind of stuff. So this is kind of the array indexing that we do in C programming or Java programming. So we can use that even in Python for lists. So animals of 1 returns elephant, 0 cat. But be sure you are actually using a right index, because if you do 4, it would actually throw an index error. One of the important things to remember when it comes to lists is the difference between animals.remove and del. So animals.remove would remove the specified element from the list. Here we are specifying the actual value of the element. However, when we do del animals of 2, what we are specifying is the index. So when you want to remove an element specifying its value, you would use remove. When you want to remove an element specifying its index, you would use del. So you can see del animals of 2. What would happen? You can see that cat, elephant, and the last one, which is at index 2, fish, that is deleted. The next important thing that you need to remember is the difference between append and extend. If you look at lists, there is also another method called extend. And if you try and invoke the extend method and say fish, what would happen? So you can see that actually individual values from here are being added in. So F, I, S, H are added in. Whereas if I do animals.append fish, what would happen? It would add an element called fish. So what is the difference between extend and append? Animals.extend is actually used to add a list of values. So you not use an element like this. What you need to do is add a list of values. So I can say giraffe, if I get the spelling right, horse. I can add a list of elements and you'd be able to see animals now. So you can see that the elements are added in. Cat, elephant, and we see the new elements in here, giraffe and horse. So that's one important thing that you need to remember is the difference between append and extend. Extend is used to add a list of elements. So when we pass one element to extend, what it does is it considers this as a list. A string, when it's considered as a list, it would take individual characters, and that's what it's adding in. So the two important things that we discussed until now are the difference between remove and del, and also the difference between append and extend. There is another way you can actually do the extend. You can do animals is equal to animals plus and add the new elements, jackal and kangaroo. I'm testing my ability to recall animals right now. So animals is equal to animals plus jackal, comma, kangaroo. What would happen? You can see that jackal and kangaroo are also appended. So this plus is kind of a shortcut of extend. We could have even done something of this kind. So with a list, you can also use plus is equal to, isn't this really cool? I'll say plus is equal to lion and monkey. What does animals have? nav. Cool, isn't it? Animals now has cat, elephant, fish, giraffe, FISH as well, because we tried to extend with fish, and we also have the other elements which are present in here. One of the important things that you need to always remember in Python is there is no restriction on what you can have in a list. So I can easily say animals.append 10. What would happen when I say animals? It would have a value of 10. So there is no type restrictions. In a list, you can have values of any type. In this video, we looked at a few puzzles related to lists. We started with looking at the basic operations, and we looked at the difference between extend and append. We saw that extend is used to add a list of elements to a list, and append is used to add a specific one element to a list. We also looked at the fact that plus and plus is equal to our shortcuts to the extend method. We also looked at the difference between remove method as well as the del. Remove is used to remove an element with a value, whereas del is used to remove an element at a specific index. We saw that the fact that almost all the methods on the list throw an error if you use an index out of the range. The last thing which we looked at was the fact that lists can hold elements of multiple types. So in a list of strings, I can add an integer or of a specific class of any choice. Until the next video, bye-bye.